What is up, my little Danos? Vepsis here, bringing you guys a COG Experiment Week 3 battle. I'm gonna be commentating this between Shayquaza and Patmac, but I won't be doing this alone. I will be joined by today's Shuckleking, like I said, going through this Week 3 matchup between these coaches.
What's up, my little Danos? Shuckleking here.
Was that good?
That was pretty good. It was a little bit more smokier. It's like me like having a cigarette for like several years and I don't even smoke, but regardless, we are here, like I said, for Shayquaza and Patmac. Shayquaza is somebody that both of us have seen battling throughout the years, mostly from AP Academy scene, for example, and other Wi-Fi leagues we have seen him as well. But Patmac is actually somebody that both of us aren't as familiar with as a Wi-Fi player, but their YouTube channel links will be down below in the description, and I will leave all the coaches taking part of this tournament in itself. And the matchup you should be able to see right now on the screen, or you have been able to see, and I'll let Shuckleking kind of break down the matchup. What are your first thoughts of the matchup, maybe the big threats and the mons that you kind of expect to be brought in this matchup?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, Shay with, his quad Bulu team with the horses in the back, it's pretty threatening. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how some of these mons go in. Top of Finny, in particular, looks really, really nice. Now you have, like, a Zarude. That could be a little bit annoying, but Finny could be Scarf. You're not sure. Or it could just be super defensive and take on, like, the Darn plus the Digger Speed, Dralodon, Gallade, Inteleon. It takes on literally everything. Top of Finny looks really great in this matchup.
Yeah, like for me, like the first thing I only noticed from like Shayquaza's side is like I've noticed he really loves using regular Blastoise. He loves to use like always some sort of ice, so either it's a Rapidash or Spectre. And I think 10% is something I've seen him use a few times. So Shay has some few things that he's kind of like used a lot in his Wi-Fi scene, and if you have seen his channel, you aren't surprised that he's been and he's a very offensive player too. But
exactly. Yeah, Zygarde actually looked really good in this game with Skitter Smack to hit Zarude, and then otherwise Thousand Arrows. Like, what's the switching? There really isn't one, so it's gonna be really tough for Patmac in this one.
Yeah, like a Patmac's team, like at least looks like a very like a Volturn heavy team that are being accustomed to using Gen 8 a lot, like surrounded by Galar and Diggersby. Then you have Rotom Heat as a nice pivot that does pretty decent job versus the Tapus for the most part. It will be pressured quite a bit, but overall wise he has like a very scary Volturn team. So how I would expect to see first, this would be like a Volturn offense versus setup offense, more or less. And I don't think neither of the teams really have too much of defensive backbone they can rely on. If
no.
Advantage, it would be Shay, but Shay is also not really accustomed to what I can tell to be a really balanced player at all. So I wouldn't really expect, even if Shay has some tools for being more defensive, to even bring those kind of mons or sets in this matchup. But that's gonna be basically the matchup in itself, and we're gonna be jumping in to see how this battle is gonna be going, and we're gonna be doing this kind of like almost like a live commentary regards to like TBL that both of us taking part of, both as a player,
sure.
Players and commentators as well. So we are gonna be seeing this from Shayquaza's side. We are gonna be seeing that he's gonna be bringing a Rapidash with Life Orb, Tapu Fini with Leftovers, Thicklop, Marowak, Choice Bandit, Psycha 10%, Weakness Posey, Resistil, and a Rocky Helmet Cowporter. And then Patmac's side, we can see he's bringing Rotom Heat, Diggersby, Zarude, Galar, Darmanitan, Mimikyu, and Weezing. Now, as you're jumping into this matchup, Shuckleking, if you were in Shayquaza's shoes, what would you have like your first thoughts and assumptions? What are you seeing from Patmac's side? What he's bringing like regards to maybe potential items or team concept that these six would be kind of make you think what they're going to be?
I mean, you're trying to put me in Shayquaza's shoes. I don't know if I could do that with this crazy Heat team that he has right here. I don't know if I could roll out with this. This is way too much offense for me to handle. I should have said I knew Registeel was going to be like some crazy like Bandit or some really offensive set. So hopefully this Registeel puts a lot of work in. But I think knowing that Patmac is probably going to want to go with a ton of momentum offense, maybe even spikes Diggersby in the back there, though it does get pressured kind of by the amount of defog options the top boosts have. I think you want to get Garb and get spikes up as soon as possible, just to make sure you punish all those switching, especially if Weezing is Levitate. Then you're going to be getting Toxic Spikes potentially up, and that's going to rack up a lot of damage on the team.
Yeah. What do you think as a potential lead, as we already saw Shay locking in his Marowak as a lead? What are like maybe assumptions that you would expect to be the lead? Like for me, like Galardam or Rotom Heat or Diggersby just based on momentum would be the obvious ones, but do you see something else that is like more likely before we get to see?
I think Diggersby would be the lead. I think you want to pressure those hazard setters as much as possible, which are Marowak, Registeel, and Good Border. And I think Diggersby does the best at that. I think Galardorm kind of struggles a little bit against like Registeel.
Yeah.
So I think he would probably lead in that.
Yeah.
Okay, and he is going to lead with the Diggersby.
Yeah. So we do get to see the lead matchup that you kind of thought from Patmac's side. And let's see what this Marowak is running. It's going to Protect, which is probably for the Galardam. Crocs, as
exactly.
Crocs that are obviously nice to have. Boomerang, which is pretty cool because then it can bypass a substitute or potential reducing berry, and he just chooses to go for the Boomerang. As the Diggersby does go for the U-turn, does decent amount of damage, but that definitely doesn't seem like Bandit to me. That might be like a Choice Cup Diggersby lead scenario then.
I could see Scarce Diggersby, especially because that should add speed, like a Tapu Koko, so that might have been a route that he was going with. And going into Zarude, I think this makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Unfortunately, he does move, doesn't get any kind of intel that what kind of bulk or maybe holding leftovers would be a thing, but Shay doesn't really take too much time as he goes into his dedicated check, which is going to be the God Border, which makes a lot of sense for him to make this kind of play versus the Zarude.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you just U-turn if you're Patmac. Just try to position yourself as much as possible. There's no way he stays in. Oh, but you go for Seed Bomb.
He just goes straight up for the hit. I guess he wants to kind of feel out what Shay's first response would be, and maybe he thinks that Shay might be a little aggressive player. But regardless, I would have agreed that I would have gone U-turn personally myself, but we see that Shay is not taking like more than a second. He's literally just going for the spike, and we saw the weak armor being the ability of the so he knows he's gonna be more likely outpacing this thing unless it's Scarf, and if it's Scarf, it's not threatening me with Seed Bomb at all.
Exactly, yeah, it's not doing much damage. It's going to do a little bit more damage because of the -1 defense, but yeah, it's not going to be doing a lot. Yeah, I like Shay's position right now, just getting spikes up as early as possible.
Yeah.
Going into the Toaster, Rotom Heat.
It's going to be the Rotom Heat, so now we're going to be seeing that either Patmac is going to be running Defog and he's kind of forced to go for that and lose the momentum. And Shay is given opportunity to go for a big gunk shot and we get this Rotom Heat down, which was breaking, like when we look at the matchup even before seeing the lead scenarios, that Rotom Heat can be annoying and it's gonna be warned
and
poison as well.
Poison, yeah. Going for a Reflect. Yeah, so maybe this is like a physically defensive Rotom Heat. I think Gilberto would have done more damage otherwise.
Yeah. It won't make sense that it's a physical defensive because like there's a Tapu Bulu, Tapu Koko, you naturally resist its stab, so Rotom Heat doesn't really need to be dedicated as a special defensive to take those hits, so
exactly.
It makes sense to be physically bulky. But I wonder if it's gonna be holding likely or is this just a attempt to get 4 turns of Reflect and therefore being okay for the short term and try to go for Volt Switch from here, but regardless, Shay is just fine to go for another layer of spikes, which is gonna be wearing down the other side of the field if these are not gonna be get rid of. But speaking of that, the Rotom Heat does back the defog right away. So, in some sense, Shay kinda lost a little bit of the progress that he has done with the spikes, but the Rotom Heat is getting worn down pretty heavily by the poison from the gunk shot prior.
Exactly. So if you just keep going for spikes here, I don't think that's a bad play because you're either gonna force Patmac to attack, or just continuously defog until he dies. Yeah. And if this Rotom Heat is dead or severely weakened, it's gonna just open up the rest of his team even more. Maybe for that Registeel.
Yeah, and it's like less and less likely it's gonna have a pain speed to recover, so whatever damage it's gonna be taking from the poison is probably there to always to stay. And now the Rotom Heat does Volt Switch out as Shay did manage to get another layer of spike up again, so there is now 1 layer of spikes now left.
Yeah, this is kind of tough switching. I think wheezing makes sense, just because you're not going to be taking really any damage, but I don't know what damage you're doing back in return here.
Yeah, like the best thing that it can do is to try to Will-O-Wisp it and start to wear it down that way, and using potentially corrosive gas to get rid of the Rocky Helmet for Sarud, but the Border does have the coverage of Psychic to be able to hit this thing, as the Wheezing goes for the Toxic Spikes. Meaning that whatever has to swap in and is grounded is gonna be taking that poison damage. So Shay may have to think about preserving this Border if he really cares about the Toxic Spikes, but for now he's just prioritizing getting the damage on Wheezing. And this Border is kind of being pretty solid unit right now. It's been able to have spikes up and it's been able to wear down 2 things already.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting in pretty good position. This Corpidor is doing a lot more work than I've seen in a while. That comes off.
Gain a little bit of health back with the Pain Split, but we saw the Psychic did manage to get this Pedef drop, so I'm pretty sure we are getting close to the point that it's gonna die to this following Psychic, but Shay may not seem as comfortable with that role, and he's debating to go into his winning condition already, which is going to be the weakness policy, Rock Polish, Resist Steel. Which I'm curious, like, is he banking on the fact that it doesn't have Will-O-Wisp, and hoping the Flamethrower will pop it?
Maybe he's predicting a switch and does. I don't know what this play is, because I don't know what you're predicting here by going into Registeel. Do you predict a Flamethrower or something?
Yeah. Oh, the Memento.
Ooh, Memento.
But if
it's not Clear Body?
It is not Clear Body. I was about to say, like, that should not make any kind of effect, but it does manage to be that, I'll be honest.
Shay, what are you doing?
That is rough. I wonder why the ability would be anything.
Oh, it's heavy metal, right?
Yeah, it would be
like,
heavy metal. But I wonder if
doubles your weight?
I wonder if that's something to do with...
Or light metal.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if...
Yeah, why would you want to be light metal?
Yeah, it could be light metal. I'm thinking, like, maybe it's not because of this set. It might be due to the fact that maybe there's something regards to generating this mod that it cannot run Rock Polish without that ability, but... I
don't think so.
I wouldn't know for a fact. It seems like an odd choice.
You haven't run Rock Polish Registeel before?
No, I haven't actually considered that lately to be a set, but either way, the Darmanitan did come in on the Resisteel and goes for the substitute, as the Resisteel is just gonna be going for the Iron Head. And
yeah.
It's whatever.
Oh, it doesn't break the sub?
Yeah, and it doesn't, yeah, break the sub because it's -2. So did this
is
Resisteel
GG?
turn into a setup fodder when it was supposed to be winning by itself? Oh,
Why
no.
wasn't it Heavy Slam?
Yeah,
Just normal. That could have been fine. This is not looking good right now.
This game 2K got like once like 180 turn in a way that we thought that Shay was doing fine, and all of a sudden we are looking at a position that Dom is about to sweep and
oh, the reflect was up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh no. Shay does have at least the bandit.
Oh, he also has the garb with
yeah,
Rocky Helmet.
Yeah.
Is this like Earthquake, Icicle, Crash? Like those things would disregard the Rocky Helmet. Okay, good call.
It does manage to at least pick this one off. It does mean also that by sacking this Border at this point will mean that it absorbs the T-spikes, which is not a bad scenario at all. And now, like, yeah, you just go into your E-speed. So I got it. This should be able to pick it up regardless of being bandit or not. But
yeah, this is definitely a fine exchange for Shay. Like basically trading your Gilberto that was basically useless at this point anyway for the Darmanitan. Yeah, I definitely take that.
Yeah, and the Resisteel will still preserve as potential win con, but yeah, I don't know. I might edit the texture in to try to figure out after this recording, like, what's the deal with having to be light metal? Is it really about the Rock Polish that you're not able to run it on it otherwise? But regardless, we probably will be expecting to see the Darmanitan go down unless this one, Patmac wants to preserve this as a sack, but at this point it would die to a spike. I'm pretty sure about the health it's at, unless Rodom Heat is able to defog them away, but I think more likely it's gonna be the case that it's gonna be sacked and let something else go free.
Yeah, and it looks like, yeah, it's just a the set that he ran like was fine. You didn't have to be light metal, so I'm confused.
Yeah.
Unless if maybe Ironhead did more damage to a certain on-for calc than Heavy Slam, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder
And
if
maybe-
there was any kind of move like low kick from the other side that Shay was considering, because that would be the only reason to run light metal if there's like weight-based attacks coming in your way. But even still, I feel like clear body is always most of the time the better choice. But regardless of that, we do see the Diggersby coming in pretty much like we saw from the turn 1. Probably more likely to be at least Choice Scav. It should not be Choice Bandit based on the U-turn damage.
What was this Tapu Fini set? I thought I saw Gravity.
So let's see if we get to see more out of it, depending on what this Diggersby goes for. It does go for the U-turn in itself, and again, it's not doing a whole lot of damage. Like, there's no way it's gonna be boosting item.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's definitely Scarfed. Mimikyu could have been a play there, unless if like Mimikyu has no way to really get past like Rapidash. That might have been a way to like maybe set up.
Yeah.
But now you bring the Mimikyu in this. That's interesting.
I wonder if this is a scenario that Patmac is like prioritizing weakening Tapu Fini one way or another. Oh, this thing has gravity. I wonder what the gravity is for. That's an interesting choice. That might be for... No, like 1000 Arrows doesn't need gravity. What do you need gravity for? Regardless, we did see the Tapu Fini going for a knockoff, I believe. And as I was saying about the Mimikyu and the Patmac side, I think Patmac might be trying to prioritize weakening down Tapu Fini for something else, like the Diggersby.
Yeah.
This might be like a way for forcing this Tapu Fini to be worn down and maybe play for that Choice Cup Diggersby late game. I feel like that would be the only reason why you're letting Mimikyu let its disguise go down and getting worn down when it could have been another wing con in the back.
Exactly. Yeah, the Diggersby switch-ins are pretty limited at this rate, so especially if this Fini gets worn down. So I think that's fair.
As we did see, it's gonna be. It did hold a spell tag, boosting its ghost type attack.
This isn't Misty Terrain Fini, right?
No, we don't see Misty Terrain in the background at all. So that's...
He's just going for the Skull Burns.
Yeah, I guess we are really banking on that. We are gonna be having the water being hot today and getting the Skull Burn, but it doesn't get the Skull Burn immediately, as the Mimikyu did go for another Sword Dance. And now something is gonna be taking a big player off for Shadow Claw, whichever Patmac chooses to go for. I feel like Shadow Claw is relatively free, but player off is more likely to get a kill, as it does to go for the player off.
I don't think it's gonna kill.
Yeah, it doesn't kill. I was thinking always like Life Orb on my top of my head, but yeah, it wasn't even that holding it anymore. But the Mimikyu does go down, but it did manage to wear down the Tapu Fini. I would guesstimate that's like below 30%, maybe like 28, 27%. Just that's a hunch, because we don't have really chance to recalculate it. But that's pretty good damage on Tapu Fini, even though it did mean that the Mimikyu had to go down in the progress. And now the Sarut does coming, and the Galbordo is not around anymore as Rocky Helmet want to this thing. So something has to go down, and it does has to be the Tapu Fini on the Seed Bomb, and Fini does go down. So if this was the main goal for Patmac, he did manage to accomplish it. And now we get to see the Rapidash coming in right away. And it's a life set. And the Rotom Heat is worn down in the back. There's only 3 monsters alive, including the Rotom Heat. So is the Lors going to be able to sweep from here? Is the Sarut choice locked or not?
I'm guessing not if it stayed in.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's doing a lot. I don't think it kills.
No, but that does put in the point that now it has to go for a Mega Horn if it wants to survive. Fire Blast, I guess, could... I don't think Fire Blast even...
I don't think Fire Blast is gonna kill.
Yeah.
I think you have to go for Mega Horn here.
Yeah.
If that was weakness policy, Rapidash, is that GG?
Oh my god, he's going for another agility here.
What is this play?
What was Shay thinking? Was he really thinking this would be swapped? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you can't swap out.
Oh, I don't know, Shay, if that was the play or not. I think you had to go for the Mega Horn. Because regardless if all the heat came in, it's gonna die to any following hit. Wow.
Poor horse.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
That's,
Yeah, you have to go for that hit there. Like, what's this? There's no switching to the horse. Everything died.
Yeah.
That's not true, but yeah, it would have picked up a ton of damage on the team.
I guess at this point he's gonna be just going for another, like, Shay is just very adamant about something sweeping with +4 or 6 speed.
Oh.
The Resistor is able to pop up its weakness policy. It's been preserved in the back all this time, and there he goes. It's gonna be getting into +2 speed, and do we get to see Resistor after all sweeping, where I thought the Rapidash was able to do it, but unfortunately it was just letting die in front of this Sarud. I don't know if the +2 Iron Head is gonna kill though. I feel like it doesn't.
I don't think it's gonna kill. No.
Maybe it
might get the flinch.
Ah, it doesn't get a flinch, but this...
Unlucky.
Yeah, this doesn't kill regardless.
There's like... I'm looking up at like Jolly Diggersby, or Registeel had speed scarf Diggersby.
I feel like there's no way it does. I feel like the Diggersby does always revenge kill this though.
No, you would add speed if he's Jolly Registeel.
Oh wow.
So we'll see.
Now I really hope for Shay's case this is Jolly, because that would be amazing to see. Wow.
Yeah, especially after throwing out that Rapidash. Yeah, if it's adamant and it's Jolly Diggersby, he won't add speed? Huh. I mean, this might also just... Oh no, Rock Slide should probably kill this.
Yeah, this is like +2. Like, I know this is a Resisteel, but this surely kills a physical defensive roam at that amount of range. And it
Nice, okay.
It does pick it up, and... Wow, now it's just Diggersby left. Can it like even rock itself into Earthquake anymore? Like, there's Zygarde in the back, there's this Resisteel. Tapu Fini is dead. This Diggersby has to pull off a reverse sweep if it's gonna be...
It's possible. Like, this Registeel's not gonna kill with a +2 hit.
Yeah.
I don't think. Unless they get to flinch. Or it's slower.
It is slower. Alright, well then. There goes the Resisteel as well. It wasn't able to sweep, and did Shay have anything in the back that is able to take a hit from this? Like, Marowak already took the U-turn, and if it's not really heavily HP invested, it's 167 max HP.
The Zygarde should take the hit.
I would imagine so, yeah. This might come down to like if a crit happens or not. Oh, we are going Marowak potentially first.
Marowak live this hit? Marowak might live the hit. It's at like 75%. It's a close roll.
It's... Wow, this really comes down to a potential roll, so a crit happening through the Earthquake from Diggersby. We do see the Earthquake coming off. It does.
Ooh, it's pretty bulky. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bulky.
You hit this time?
It does hit. Oh my god, the first bone almost killed me because it didn't even...
Marowak strong.
Wow. That was a crazy game, honestly. Like, I thought... Like, there were so many scenarios that happened. At first, the Galar Darmanitan tried to sweep earlier on. Then we saw the Rapidash trying to go for a sweep. And then we saw afterwards that the Resisteel almost pulled it off. But in the end, thank god the Marowak and Zygarde were healthy enough to take on the Diggersby at the end, because Diggersby almost without a setup pulled off the sweep, but that was a really crazy game. I really did not... I guess I should have expected this.
We should have known.
Yeah, we should have known that, knowing that Shay is gonna be taking part of this, that something is gonna try to sweep and it's gonna be a fast-paced game, but... That was a crazy game. It does mean that Shay does move on. Did you see, Shuckleking, what their prior records coming into this battle? Like, what kind of records these two coaches
going into? Yeah, Shay was 2-0, so he's undefeated through the pool stage. Patmac falls to 1-2, unfortunately. So I don't believe he advances. I believe it's only top 2.
Well, that's gonna be it for the week 3 battle. So Shay's gonna be going 3-0, like Shuckleking said, and knowing that Shayquaza moving on, we're probably gonna be expecting more of these kind of battles from his. And if you haven't again seen Shayquaza or Patmac, their YouTube channels will be down below in the description. I'm pretty comfortable saying that Patmac, yeah, he was part of the UPL in itself. Shayquaza, I'm not actually too sure of which Wi-Fi leagues he's currently still taking part of. I know he's gonna be taking part of a Wi-Fi league that both of us are gonna be taking part of, coming ahead in the UPBA, which is gonna be like a semi-Ubers league. So you can expect some of us facing them potentially in the future over there, but that's gonna be all for myself and Shuckleking for the week 3 in itself. Thank you, Shuckleking, for joining with me. These live commentaries after doing the TPO has been a like pleasantly surprise for me to at least to do. I don't know about you. How much have you enjoyed doing this?
Oh, it's a bunch of fun. I don't like to play the games. I like watching people play. So no, it's fun to see everyone's approaches and have all these hype games and such.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable, and hopefully we get to do this more often for the COG Experiment. If you haven't seen the prior battles where other coaches like myself and Shuckleking, there have been other people as well doing these commentaries. I've been having a chance to watch a few of them, and it's very fun to see all those different kind of like commentaries, people coming together doing this, because there are a lot of like different style of commentators out there. Me and Shuckleking kind of go more so like analytical side, because we are like considered pretty
I don't know.
players, but there are a lot of like for different tastes. They are like in COG, who is a very like entertainment value wise.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, and Shay falls into that category. So there's always somebody that whoever you prefer to listen to commentate have been able to commentate already throughout this tournament. So make sure to check those out. Stay tuned in the COG Experiment. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you won't be missing out the future battles that are coming ahead, and I'm looking forward to those. I'm sure Shuckleking is as well, and we'll see. Maybe we get to do this more often together, or maybe we get to join with somebody else in the future projects. But that's gonna be all for us. Thank you for watching, and we're gonna be see you guys later.